In November 2018, Studio Xebec's parent company IG Port sold it to Sunrise, a division of Bandai Namco Filmworks, creating a new studio, Sunrise Beyond. And while Xebec lasted for 24 years, this new studio would only last for 6 before going defunct in April of 2024. Meanwhile, in 2019, Production IG inherited the company's assets. Now all of their copyright and assets belong to IG Port, a holding company established in 2007 as a result of the merger between Production IG and the manga publisher Mag Garden. In Xebec's final 2 years as a company, they crafted the series Starblazer Battleship Yamato 2202 and the subject of today's video, Yuuna and the Haunted Hotspring. Created by Tadahiro Miura and published by Shonen Jump from 2016 to 2020, the manga runs 214 chapters across 24 volumes and only 12 episodes of the anime, which aired in the summer of 2018, with a 3-episode OVA to follow. Kogarashi Fuyuzora arrives in Yukemuri, the onsen town. Elsewhere, an elderly couple is talking about a faceless person they saw. The one they were talking to turns around and has no face. Doesn't mean you can't punch it where its face should be, and that's what Koga does. He identifies himself as a hands-on psychic.
And just beat the devil out of it.
He's on his way to the Yuragien, a former ryokan and onsen turned boarding house, with suspiciously cheap rent. Rent for 1,000 and 2 meals a day for 15,000? If that's 16,000 yen total, then with current conversion rates, that's only about 110 USD. And while the series name says it all, it's cheap because it's haunted. Specifically, the onsen is haunted. Koga plans to punch the ghost out of existence, giving real flashbacks to the Ghost Puncher green text here. So in anime style, Koga hits the bath, ready for a supernatural throwdown, but what he sees isn't some insane phantom, it's a mostly normal girl. But she's clearly a ghost. A naked ghost. Koga can't even drive this spirit out because he won't hit girls. Waking up in one of the rooms, he meets the lolly keeper of the dorms, Nakai Chitose, followed by the lewd boozer One-san barging in, Arahabaki Nonko. Then the resident ninja shows up, Ameno Sagiri, and the resident cat girl, Fushiguro Yaya. If you know your yokai, then you probably guessed who's who. Chitose is a Zashiki Warashi, a house spirit that's fond of mischief and is believed to bring riches and fortune to those they haunt. She's also over 1,000 years old, because she's a yokai. Nonko is an Oni, pretty obvious. We're even told she's a descendant of Shuten Doji, and while Yaya is in fact human, she's possessed by a cat god, Shiratama. They ask which room Koga is staying in, and when they're told room 4, they all seem to think he's not long for the residence. Why? Because he's not the only one in room 4. That's also the ghost's room. A reasonable reaction, right? This is Yuuna, and she seems overjoyed that Koga can properly see her. Yuuna and Koga will be sharing this room for the foreseeable future since he can't punch her into the afterlife. Instead of sleeping, Yuuna asks Koga about himself. He's been susceptible to supernatural possessions since he was young, and it's caused problems for everyone, so he's trained as an exorcist as a way to combat this problem. In return, Koga asks what her lingering regret is, since that's what binds a spirit to a place, and if it doesn't get resolved, the spirit could turn evil. But a mouse causes a lucky lecture moment before Koga can get an answer. The following day he finds a part-time job and sets his sights on helping Yuuna properly ascend, but another exorcist shows up to forcefully ascend her, with Koga showing up to save the day. And that's how this series begins. This shows everything Xebec knows about fanservice. Nakeds, slapstick, unconventional humor. Love Hina, To Love Ru, Ladies vs. Butlers. Kanokon, Makenki. There are 2 decades of work going into this final series of gratuitous comedy. with a setting familiar to the audience. Haunted Hotspring isn't as romance-focused as other series that blends the same genres, with a higher focus on the comedy and fan service. Often at Koga's expense, as he's very much so a cherry boy. That used to be a much more common trope for ecchi series, but it seems to have declined in popularity of the gag somewhere around 2019. 2.5D Seduction, which started publishing that year, leaned pretty heavily into this gag, complete with the nosebleeds, but I don't recall many other series, if any, that pull the same trope as a serious factor to the male characters. I've seen it used a few times unironically for female side characters, but not expressly male characters. There's a very loose plot revolving around Koga helping Yuuna ascend to heaven, and since earthbound spirits are bound by regret, then that makes helping Yuuna an easy thing. Or it would if it wasn't for the fact that she's been a ghost so long she doesn't even remember what her original regret is. So while most of the series, be it anime or manga, is a sitcom, the plotline of finding out who Yuuna was comes up once in a while. But it's mostly a revolving door of female characters to subject Koga's lucky lecher perk to. Among them are Chisaki Miyazaki, who is a normal human, and Shigaraki Koyuzu, the Bake Danuki. This child might be onto something here. There's Rui Harashima, who is Nonko's editor, because Nonko draws shoujo manga for a living. And Oboro Shinto, the older sister of Genshiro Ryuga, the Black Dragon God. He becomes obsessed with Yuuna due to her overwhelming ghost powers, and Oboro becomes obsessed with Koga after he beats Genshiro in a fight. The primal instinct to breed strong children runs deep in her, with even more showing up in the manga, like the succubus teacher, Harumu Yumesaki, the Nue, Matora Mikogami, the Tengu Karura Hyogi, the Yoko, Mirai Katsuragi, Sagiri's cousin Hibari Ameno, and Koga's teacher, Oga Makyoin. The show itself is limited to 15 episodes in total, with a single 12-episode season and 3 OVAs, and the majority of it is gratuitous fan service. Like, I can't even show you how naked this show is. It's more naked than To Love Ru. But while it will show you as many memories as exists on the characters, it won't give you full frontal, because it's not a hentai. It's just really, really damn close to it, which might be a major turnoff to potential viewers. It's also subjected to what I call Akamatsu syndrome, where the manga has actual story even if it's not all that different from the show, and the manga has both the time and length to play them out for us, which is good if you like to read, but it's sad for the anime being so limited. And because of how dangerously close it is to that RX rating, I don't think we'll be seeing a reboot covering the whole story. Not with the current issues facing Japan, especially the coordinated censorship that's been ramped up the past few months. Aside from the glaring naked, the other issue some might find is that Koga is so radically OP that he trivializes most events that take place. But that's a feature of his character. It's not supposed to be a battle series like Dragon Ball or JoJo. It's a sitcom featuring enough TNA to cause the entire staff of Ofcom to spontaneously combust. It's a comedy. Koga's supposed to be a ridiculous character. And it's not like he's completely invulnerable. Orobo makes full use of her chesticles to make it so Koga can't fight her, since he's principled and refuses to hit girls, even if the girl's behavior causes him problems. She knows she can straight up assault him and he won't do anything about it, which plays in her favor because she wants that D bad. And that's really all there is to say about that. I am the NBT, this has been the Noble Weeaboo. Yuuna and the Haunted Hotspring is Gooner bait, but it's not bad Gooner bait. It's weird and tropey and very, very naked, but it's worth a shot if you just want to turn your brain off and enjoy something simple while pondering the mega milk.